Hey, what's up everyone? It's Kirk here again at Option Alpha, and I'm back. I feel so much better. So really quickly before I start talking and diving into the issues with passive investing, I just want to say I'm sorry for being an MIA for 2 days, but our entire house, I felt like, got hit by a train because we had the stomach bug that was going around. And for those of you who are parents with kids, you know, like when your kid gets sick, it's only a matter of time. It's like, you know, you're going to get punched in the face, but you just don't know when it's going to happen. And so my oldest daughter had the stomach bug, started throwing up the middle of the week, and then my wife got it, and then my youngest daughter got it, and then I was the last. I was the last one to get it, and so it was just like terrible. I mean, it was just, I've never traded. I said this to members on the video update. I made a trade in Oracle on Friday, our only trade. I literally crawled, like army crawled to the computer and made that trade. I've never done that before in my life. But anyways, I feel 100% better. And I have my buy soda, which I love. So I think I'm back to normal, I guess, or normal-ish. I still have to shave though. So what I want to talk about today, because this just came up again, and with all this crazy Bitcoin stuff, I think it's actually really appropriate. How many people actually have Bitcoin? If you're listening in here, let me know. Add in the comment section real quick. I'd love to know. So I think this is crazy. So my father-in-law came over to the house the other day and started asking me about Bitcoin again, and said he was going to take some money out of his IRA to invest in Bitcoin, which I'm like, please do not do this right now. But I said, look, I mean, we started having to talk about it and having a conversation about Bitcoin and just index investing. And look, I mean, I think the markets are going to have probably one of the best years that they're going to have in the next 10 years, right? Like this could really, you could really look back on this year and maybe eventually say maybe this is the best year the markets have had, just like straight up, right? But I think the problem with index investing and even what people are doing right now with Bitcoin is that there's no underlying thought process behind it, right? It's really a follow the herd mentality. And I see this a lot in indexing because right now the markets are really, really good. And so everyone thinks that, hey, indexing is the way to go. Like we just buy up the indexes, buy up the S&P, buy up the NASDAQ, buy up the Dow. And the big glaring problem with this is that everyone buys with no assumption of valuation. Like it's just the next person buys because the last person bought, and the next person buys because the last person bought. And the same thing's happening in Bitcoin right now. Not to say that Bitcoin couldn't go higher. It's just like, what is the underlying valuation? Like the only thing the only thing that's happening right now is that the only reason that somebody's buying Bitcoin as high as it is because they assume that somebody else will buy it at a higher price. That's it right now. Like, I'm not saying don't get into this argument with me on Bitcoin and stuff like that right now, but not that it doesn't have some utility in the future, but at least right now, the utility is not anything. The utility is to exchange it for cash. You really can't buy anything for Bitcoin. Anything substantial, you can't buy anything for Bitcoin. And so the same thing are happening with index investing. It's driving me crazy because people are just buying the indexes because they think that that's the exact thing to do. But if everyone bought the indexes and now valuations are even more insanely high than they were before, does that still mean that it's the best thing to do? Is it really the best thing to buy the indexes? I think you saw this in Japan 10 years ago, 15 years ago in Japan, and we had this lost decade, 2 decades in Japan where it's just everyone bought because that's what you did. And then everything crashed and we had, lackluster, basically for 2 decades. And so I think that's where we're kind of headed, right? Maybe that's not, maybe I'm totally wrong, but I think that where we're at now with index investing is so crazy because you talk to anyone about investing and they're just totally buy the indexes, totally buy the indexes. Not that it can't beat anything, but we've all heard about this, chasing returns, chasing performance, right? That everyone who, in the mutual fund world, what investors do is they look at the top mutual funds every year and they then move money out of the worst and move them into the best. And then those mutual funds underperform. And it's just this constant chasing of performance that people get. And I think that's where we're getting to with a lot of, at least short term, with these cryptocurrencies and with, a lot of these index investing funds and stuff like that. So I don't know, my 2 cents. I just think be careful about what you're doing with that. Don't just blindly, don't invest like this, right? This is what people are doing. Please, I hope that it keeps going higher, right? That's a bad strategy to go through. So hopefully that helps out. So let me know what you guys think. I promise I will be jumping back in here more often on on Facebook, I've been wanting to. It's just been super, super busy. And hopefully we've got some new cool developments coming out in the next couple of weeks on auto trading, which is super cool and have been working on in the background. So Brian said, what are your thoughts on the new tax plan? Expecting more big moves to the upside or already fully priced in? Buy the rumor, sell the news. I totally think it's a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event. So hopefully I'm right in that assumption. But look, people have been pricing in tax cuts since Trump was elected. And so we've just priced them in. And so I think it's totally a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event. So we'll see what happens, right? Everyone, if they do have losses, are going to try to harvest those losses before the end of the year. So we'll see what happens, right? So hopefully that helps out. If you guys like this and enjoy it, let me know. Give me the thumbs up. Let me know questions you guys have. And somebody said there's a condo for sale in Miami that seller will only accept Bitcoin. Oh my God. See, but that's one off. I think that's one off. Look, I've had people that have said like, hey, can I pay for the membership in Bitcoin? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I guess as quickly as I can convert it over to cash, I would probably accept it, right? So, but I just don't think it's a typical medium of exchange. But I think that the phenomenon of Bitcoin and the hype and, all the fanciness around it, everyone's excited about it. Like, my father-in-law has no Facebook, he's no Gmail, nothing, but he's thinking about asking me how to buy Bitcoin. So I don't know. Maybe that means the bubble could go higher. Does that mean to invest in it? I don't know. Take a gamble. I think it's totally gamble at this point, right? So a little bit of your money, if you wanted to ever do that, try it. I don't know. I've got no news on that. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.